Richard's here with one of his smaller drones. Can you tell us a little bit about this drone specifically, what you use it for, and how to work it?
Certainly. So this here is the Mavic 3. This is a scouting drone. This is the upgrade from the Mavic 2 that we used for scouting before. You'll notice that this drone has just a completely different payload than the bigger ones. This one has no tanks, no hoses, no nozzle, but it has incredible sensors, RTK, precision mapping, thermal camera, and an unbelievable camera, which takes a lot of pictures of these fields so that those pictures can be stitched together and we can get one giant detailed map. And so what I'll do is I'll just walk you through the scouting procedure of how to do that, how to program this mission. It shows that I've got 5 acres to fly. I'm not going to overfly any of the interstate, railroad track, or power lines adjacent property.
And all of that is shown on the map right
All of
here?
that is shown
Okay.
on the map right here. I have an enhanced 3D. We're not going to do a 3D map of this. I can do a 3D map of construction sites, cut fill, mine spoils, construction spoils, whatever. I'm just going to do a simple 2D map. It's going to fly 5 acres, 5 minutes, 43 minutes. It's going to take 78 images, 1 battery. I'm going to fly it at 200 feet. Any questions?
No.
Was that simple enough?
Yeah.
Let's fly.
Okay.
You're going to hold this. Don't touch any buttons.
So press the big red one. Got it. No, I just...
See how that jumped?
Okay.
Free of rock and debris.
Okay.
See that blue light? That blue button?
Yep.
Push that. It's going to do the pre-flight.
Drone connected. It said move drone something. I didn't finish reading it.
It's good. Drone connected. It's checking the camera. Do you have the green button?
Yes.
Push the green button.
Okay.
Hold on to that.
Okay. It's just gonna do the whole thing? How high can you legally fly it?
400 feet.
Okay. Wow.
We're going to fly
Like it
this.
could disappear at 400 feet. You would
Well,
barely
you
see
have
it.
to maintain visual line of sight for your
Okay.
107.
Okay.
And so you have it, and now it's going to fly a grid pattern of these 5 acres at 200 feet, and it's going to get all the detail that we need so that when I stitch it together, I can analyze it. For today's purposes, would be on field elevation. If I were to help this grower, I'd be looking at, does this field have his 2% slope for maximum efficiency for his water, irrigation, and drainage? If this field was in production, I could do all kinds of plant health analysis to help him manage his crop. Now these 5 acres would be a $5 an acre invoice. So this would be a $25 map.
Okay.
I usually wouldn't think that I would take a day to go do this for 5 acres. Most farmers have 100 acres.
Can you do 100 acres on one battery, or do you have to do it smaller?
Multiple
increments?
batteries.
Okay.
This is going to take 7 minutes. This battery here at this elevation, I could probably do 50 acres. If I wanted to go to 300 feet, I could go. I have a bigger cone of image off of that camera, so I'm going to get more land, but not as many pictures per acre.
So for this drone specifically, once you have your license and you have your certifications, it's almost more of a software game than actually flying it.
it's an autonomous flight, and so that autonomous flight feature gives you a chance to be safety, keep your line of sight, your visual line of sight of that drone, make sure that you're not flying over crowds, people, you're not into hazards, and you're just collecting data.
That's pretty cool. So, and you said it would take 5 minutes to do the 5 acres?
Yeah.
And can you make it go faster, or is that how long it takes?
It's flying right now. If we look at the trajectory on here, it's flying
200 feet.
at 11 miles per hour.
Okay.
It's at 200 feet. We're 321 feet from the drone.
Mm-hmm.
We change this view. You can see what it's flying over.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't show you the flight path. So we're collecting data, and that's one thing that growers, producers don't have enough of to make management decisions is data.
Can I slide the screen to
Mm-hmm.
see our... Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can zoom in.
That's pretty cool. So in the amount of time that we've been talking, we're 3/4 of the way done, and we'll have that all mapped with, you said 78 images?
78 images. Now, if we wanted to fly this entire farmer's 2,000 acres, we could set it up as field 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many fields, set all those missions at home, in the office, in the air-conditioned truck, fly the drone, and then when the battery got low, the drone would come home for a low battery, change the battery, resume mission, and it would go back. So I don't have to program that field every time right before I fly. It stores that field.
So for your educational program, do the kids, say a kid that is licensed, got a contract with a farmer, do you help them do the mapping, or at the point of getting their license, are they already completely
I'll
proficient?
help them. They should be proficient, but it always helps to have, a coach in your corner.
Right.
But once they get that map, these farmers are on a 28-day, 45-day subscription cycle because their field is in production 365 days out of the year. They're either taking it out or putting it in here in Arizona.
And how long does the software, we're already done with our field. How long does the software hold the map for? Like, can the kids re-access the same maps next year?
All the time. It holds them in the cloud, even on a cloudless day. So that is part of that subscription that just holds that information.
So in essence, they can continue growing with the farmer, with the technology as it evolves, because everything is already in the system.
Yep.
And just like that, in the exact same place.
See, Brittney, all we have to do is get you ready for the test, and you're in business.
Basically a professional already.
Already. Now it's asking you, process your images into the map. Okay.
And now how long does it take for those 78 images to upload?
Well, if I do it from my cell phone data plan, all day.
A long time.
If I do it from my Wi-Fi at home, 45 minutes.
Okay, so that's also another important detail. It needs Wi-Fi just to download the photos or to run the whole system?
It needs Wi-Fi to run this controller.
But not the actual map.
Not the actual map.
Okay, so to set your maps, you need Wi-Fi or some sort of data connection. Then you can go on your mission if you're in the middle of nowhere that doesn't have it, no problem. And then you come home and you can download all the data that was collected. Okay, that's awesome. Well, thanks for showing me that. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so we just completed this mission. Before we took off, we mapped everything. We mapped all the fields, however big of a field you want to map in individual fields. How can we take that data and take the map into using these bigger drones and actually executing something with that data?
Great question. So now, after I have to take the SD card out, put it in an SD card reader on my laptop, send it to the cloud. I have a subscription with Agrimo. Then Agrimo takes that map that's stitched together, and I can run it through 10 different analysis. If I wanted to do a fertilizer analysis, I'd do a fertilizer analysis, and then over this same map, download it to this SD card, I could get a fertilizer application map. Now, the entire field may not need fertilizer.
Okay.
Traditional agriculture will tell you, I'm going to fertilize the entire 5 acres. I'm going to put it out at X pounds of nitrogen per acre. Well, only 15% of my field may need fertilizer. And it doesn't need X pounds, it just needs X minus 3 pounds of fertilizer. And that intelligence goes back onto this card. This card now goes into that drone loaded with fertilizer and flies that same map, but only applies the fertilizer where it's needed, not the entire field. So now when we're talking about saving efficiencies and costs of staying in business as a farmer, I've just probably cut my fertilizer application in 30%, 80%. If it's fungicide, pesticide, herbicide, fertilizer, I'm only applying it exactly where I need it. Hence that term precision agriculture.
So not only is the data of the map itself transferable, but it took the data and applied it on the map. So you don't have to manually go in and say, hey, this map told me that I need fertilizer here, and now I go into this map and I have to plug it in. It's just kind of switch it over.
That's what all of those algorithms applied to does. If it wasn't fertilizer, it could have been seed.
So you're not only saving on product, but on thousands of hours
Time.
Of just being able to switch your SD card over and using the cloud.
Exactly.
That's really incredible. It's awesome.